Hey everyone, it's me, Cardi V, and I am back with episode 3 of my booktube. And today's topic is going to be cozy mysteries. My favorite cozies, that is. I read my very first cozy mystery back in April 2019. I had just started working at a library, and I worked at the circ desk. And of course, people always come and they ask you, like, oh, like, what are you reading? What would you like recommend? And I mean, all I really could recommend was like YA lit, which is not a bad thing. It just was the only thing I was really reading at that time. So I figured it was time to broaden my reading, not skills, but my genres that I read. So my reading portfolio, if you will. So anyway, the very first cozy series that I read was the Perfectly Proper Paranormal Museum by Kirsten Weiss. It was really good. I read the first 4 books. I had absolutely no clue that she had written 2 more books for that series, so I haven't finished it. I most likely will go back and read it. I'm not seeing it in the audio book format. So it looks like it's just like ebooks and actual physical copies, which isn't a bad thing, but kind of hard to do when you have 2 small kids running around. Okay, so the very first cozy series I want to talk about is going to be Vivien Chien's A Noodle Shop Mystery. Um, this cozy is probably my absolute favorite. It was the second cozy series that I read, and I devoured them. I've actually had Vivien Chien like and comment on some of my like bookstagram posts, so like I feel like we're best friends. Anyway, but no. So the series follows Lana Lee. She is our main character, and her boyfriend breaks up with her, and then she does this dramatic walkout of her job. So obviously, she's in her late 20s and she's got bills, she's got responsibilities, so she can't just like not work. So she just decides for the time being she's just going to work at her parents' restaurant until she can find something more permanent. And then the darnest thing happens. She goes to deliver the plaza manager. Her parents' restaurant is in a little plaza, Asia village. And so it's nothing but like Asian owned businesses within this little plaza. It seems like it's really cute. And she delivers him his lunch. And then he's found dead. Turns out he died because he was served shrimp dumplings, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, shrimp dumplings, which, okay, maybe it was an accident. However, everybody in Asia Village knew that he was allergic to shrimp. And he always let everybody know, like, hey, does this have shellfish in it? I'm allergic. So obviously, Lana's under investigation because she was the one that delivered it. And then Peter is the cook, and he obviously is also under suspicion for the simple fact that he's the one that served the, or not served the food, but cooked the food. So each book, obviously, a new murder happens. It's Lana's funny. I feel like if Lana was a real person, me and her would be best friends. I also love her best friend who she bounces like ideas off of. I also like that Lana is not a dumb amateur sleuth. Like, one, she knows her limitations. She is very much aware that she is not a cop. She doesn't act like she knows anything about police procedures or like forensics or anything crazy like that. So it's not like, she's picking up evidence and like, oh, I'm gonna put it in this sandwich bag and blah blah blah. Like, I feel like she does what any nosy person would do when they're trying to clear themselves and or clear someone that they love. So I just love her. The ninth book, Misfortune Cookie, comes out, I want to say, in September. I could be very wrong about the month. However, I know it comes out this year at some point. Um, the second series that I want to talk about is actually Amanda Flowers' a magic, sorry, a magic garden mystery. So there is three books in this series. This isn't the first Amanda Flower book that I read. I read her magical bookshop series. And I did like that one, which is why I picked this one up. This series follows Fiona Knox. I think that's her last name. And she's from Nashville, Tennessee. And her rock star fiance cheats on her with their wedding florist. So obviously she leaves him. But then I think her like flower business also like tanks. And then on top of all of that, her godfather, who she calls Uncle, I think it's Uncle Ian. Yeah, Uncle Ian. He dies. So kind of sad. So she has been left everything per his will, and then she has to obviously go to Scotland, where Uncle Ian is from, to obviously manage his affairs. And then literally like the day she arrives, his caretaker, because he has a garden, hence the Magic Garden series, his caretaker Hamish is like, "Oh, I'll give you a tour of the grounds, blah blah blah," and they go to the garden, and there's a dead guy there. So obviously, like the garden is locked. So the only way you can get inside this garden is if you have a key. The only person that had a key was Hamish, and then obviously Uncle Ian. If Uncle Ian is dead, then Hamish has both keys. So obviously Hamish is the one that they suspect. And then I want to say Hamish and the guy who's found dead, they were like witness having like some type of fight. Or not a fight, but an argument. So obviously Fiona's like, look, like I believe you, Hamish. I know you had nothing to do with it, which I wanna say I know some people didn't like that she like instantly believed him. However, like one, it's a cozy mystery. Two, her uncle, or well, her godfather, Uncle Ian, would not have hired, at least in my opinion, like why would you hire someone you couldn't trust, or someone who was just so hot tempered that he would just like kill a random person that really had nothing to like, you know, do with anything. So it's kind of like I would believe him too. Like, and I would also argue that if Hamish always was the caretaker of this garden, because her, I guess her godfather, Uncle Ian, would like travel a lot, so he would be in charge of the garden, making sure it was watered and this, that, and the third. So I would assume that Fiona had known Hamish, or at least knew him in passing. You know what I mean? Because it was mentioned that she would go visit her godfather like all the time when she was growing up and everything like that. That they were like super close. So obviously, I would believe Hamish too. Duh. But whatever. I know some people might like not agree with that. But anyway, so of course Fiona wants to clear Hamish's name. Hamish also has like this squirrel that follows him around, and it's just like really cute. And then there's like this fox that Fiona keeps seeing. Like it anyway. I don't want to say too much because then I'll kind of give away like how you find out that the garden is magical, what the magical garden means, and then all the working pieces. So I would definitely suggest reading it. Like I said, there's only 3 books, and I don't think that there are any plans to write any more. At least I haven't, seen anything on Amanda Flowers' like website or anything like that. I would really like to see more books, but I guess I'm not the one writing them, so whatever. Okay, another cozy mystery that I have been really into lately is Mia P. Manas. I can't say her last name. Manansala, I believe that's how you say it, but I could be pronouncing it wrong. And it's Tita Rosie's kitchen. So this story is really interesting because it centers around a Filipino family. And I don't really know much about Filipino food. And the only thing I know about Filipino culture slash, I don't want to say heritage. Well, I mean, just because I'm not really well versed, so I don't want to sit there and act like I know so much about Filipino culture. Um, and I just, if you've watched Joe Coy stand up, that's kind of where I'm getting Filipino information from. Um, Again, I'm not an expert. I know his family might be just, one small sample size. But, I do feel like, that's really all I know about Filipino families and cultures is through his stand up. Um, and I just, I'm not an expert. So I do think that the series is great because there's a lot of Filipino food, and I'll be honest, like it makes me so hungry every time I read this book. But Lila is the main character, and basically, of course, I don't know if it's like just the ones that I gravitate towards, but she had a really bad breakup, so she moves back home to I can't remember her like the small town's name, but whatever. So her aunt has a restaurant, so she goes back to help with the restaurant, but the restaurant is failing, and they get this really really bad review of their restaurant, and that critic ends up dying, like literally like dead head in a bowl of, I want to say it was like soup or something like that, at the restaurant. Well, here's the kicker. The food critic is actually her ex-boyfriend, not the one that she broke up with, but like her high school sweetheart. So, of course, her family is suspected of killing him for the simple fact that one, Lila is his ex-girlfriend, and there was a little bit of like bad blood when they broke up, and obviously it happened literally at the restaurant. So it's a big deal. She's got this really cute like little dog, Longanisa, which you can see her like in the cover, and it's just like it's kind of funny. Like it says, her life quickly swerves from a Nora Ephron romp to an Agatha Christie case, with the cops treating her like she's the one and only suspect, and a shady landlord looking to finally kick the Makapogal family out to resell the storefront. Lila's left with no choice but to conduct her own investigation. Armed with the nosy auntie network, her barista best bud, and her trusted dash hound, Longanisa, Lila this tasty twisted case soon. Oh, takes on this tasty twisted case and soon finds her own neck on the chopping block. I, I don't know. I love this series. It's so fun. It's funny. I love all the food references. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a sucker for like food centered cozies. Um, I don't know. Maybe that's just my thing. So I would definitely suggest it. Want to say, I want to say it's the 4th book in the series. It's called Murder and Mamon. I think that's how you say it. And that comes out this October. So I'm super excited to see that series, or not that series, excuse me, that book in the series. And I'm really hoping that it continues. I know that like some cozy mysteries like have like 20, 30, 40 books. So I know that sometimes it gets really drawn out. But I just don't think 4 books is like what it should stop at. Like I want more after that. So I'm really, really enjoying that series. Another, of course, food related cozy that I definitely love is A Caribbean Kitchen Mystery by Raquel V. Reyes. So this one, shocker, is not about a woman going through a breakup, moving back to her hometown. But she does move back to her hometown. However, it's her and her husband and her son. And I want to say her son is like 1 or 2. And he's like the cutest little thing, which is nice because I hate when kids are annoying in books and movies. Like, kids are annoying in real life. You know, some you were probably like, we've all been the annoying kid before. However, it's just like there's a difference between annoying in the like the traditional sense and like annoying, like where it's like I'm I'm going to strangle you. It's a difference, and I don't know if like it's just bad writing or what, but like sometimes kids are not as annoying as they are in books as they are in real life, and it's just really weird to me that like they write kids to be so annoying. Like, anyway. So so the very first book is Mango, Mambo, and Murder. So in this story, the main character is Miriam, and she moves from New York to Coral Shores, Miami. So basically, she's a stay-at-home mom, and the reason why they moved back to town is her husband gets a better job, um, and it just so happens to obviously be in this small town. Um, and her mother-in-law is annoying as all hell. She is a Karen, and she's a Karen to the fullest extent. Um, this is also an interracial couple. So obviously Miriam is Latino, um, and her husband is white. So I did think that that was nice as someone who is in an interracial relationship. I like to see that in books. In movies and things like that. But anyway, so her mother-in-law is a Karen, just annoying. And I'll read you what it is. It says, food anthropologist Miriam Keono Smith moves from New York to Coral Shores, Miami, puts her academic career on hold to stay at home with her young son. Adding to her funk is an opinionated mother-in-law and a husband rekindling a friendship with his ex. Gracias to my best friend Alma, she gets a short-term job as a Caribbean cooking expert on a Spanish language morning TV show. But when the newly minted star attends a women's club luncheon, a socialite sitting at her table suddenly falls face first into a chicken salad, never to nibble again. When a second woman dies soon after suspicions coalesce around a controversial Cuban herbalist, Dr. Fuentes, especially after the morning show's host collapses while interviewing him, Detective Pullum, is not happy to find Miriam at every turn. After he catches her breaking into the doctor's apothecary, he enlists her help as the eyes and ears to the places he can't access, namely the Spanish speaking community and the tawny Coral Shores social scene. As the ingredients to the deadly scheme begin blending together, Miriam is on the verge of learning how and why the women died, but her snooping may turn out to be a recipe for her own murder. So, this book is really good. I like that she teams up with the detective. And there's no like cheating or love triangle. He's strictly a friend slash unofficial coworker, colleague. Um, so I do like that, just for the simple fact that she's a young mother well, I say young in the sense like she's probably around my age. She's a young mother. So she has obviously a husband and a child that depend on her. So she's not out there making like dumb decisions like, oh, I'm just going to walk right into danger and like not a care in the world. So I do appreciate that she is a smart amateur sleuth. Her best friend Alma is the best. I love her best friend. Um, and her little son Manny is so cute, like I was saying earlier. And I think literally the only issue I have with this book is I want to say, I think it's this book, yeah. She, the detective basically like says she's kind of like Veronica Mars, and like he's messing with her like, oh, you're so nosy like Veronica Mars. And Miriam is all like, I don't know who that is. Girl, how you not know who Veronica Mars is? Really? You don't know who Veronica Mars is? That's literally the only thing that rubbed me the wrong way. So minor, so stupid, but really? You don't know? Anyway, I'll let it go. So, I want to say right now there are 2 books in the series. And I want to say there is a third one coming out. So, I don't know when, but I'm more than positive there's a third one coming out this year. So I am excited to see that, or well, to read that book. The 5th series that I want to talk about is the Gethsemane Brown Mystery. It's by Alexia Gordon, and this cozy centers around Gethsemane. She is classically trained in music, and our protagonist is Black, which I'm like really, 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 really obviously into diverse reads. And I want to say this is probably, I don't want to say it's the first cozy that I've read with a Black main character, because that's not true. But this is the first one that I've like thoroughly enjoyed, and I want to say there was like 6 books in it. I don't know, but I legit read this story like or this whole series like in a span of like, I don't know, like a week. Like I was going through the audiobooks like they were literally like the air that I breathe. They were so funny. But basically Gethsemane she gets stuck in Scotland, or is it Ireland? Can't remember. No, it's Ireland. It's Ireland. Yeah, so she gets stuck without her luggage or money in Ireland. And she's like, dang, might as well get a job out here. Like, I have no way to get back home. She's a little bit on the prideful side because she does have family that would have definitely sent her money. So, obviously, I don't know. I'm gonna say she was prideful, but that's not really the point. So this guy is like, hey, well, we need help at this the school in town. It's like an all boys school. They need a music director or a music teacher. So why don't you apply for that job? And while you're here, you can stay in this cottage, this historical cottage that my family has. So she moves in, everything's fine. She obviously wasn't expecting to be a teacher, but she's like, whatever, I'll roll with the punches. Um, and there's a ghost. There's a no kidding ghost that talks to her, and she can physically see him, and no one else can. So he's just like, I was murdered. They think that I killed my wife, and I need you to like solve this murder. My murder and who murdered my wife, because I want to be reunited with my wife on the other side, and I can't, like, I can't move on. I'm stuck in this house, and well, he can also haunt places that he went or he frequented while he was alive. So she's just all like, what the heck, like. So she basically helps him solve his own murder and also the person who killed his wife. Um, and I just thought it was interesting. Like, you know, it's paranormal, but it's also a cozy. And it just was really well written. It's very nice seeing a black author write a black woman in a cozy mystery, and she's a strong black woman. And I love it. So if you get a chance, definitely read it. Um, it's just it's really good. So those are the cozy mysteries that I am currently obsessed with right now. I do want to say that one honorable mention for me is going to be the Baby Ganesh Detective Agency series by Basim Khan. The first book is The Unexpected Inheritance of Inspector Chopra. Now, I would not classify this as a cozy mystery for the simple fact, excuse me, the main character, Inspector Chopra, was on the force, the police force in India. Sorry, I have hiccups. So, by definition, he is not an amateur sleuth. He is like forced into retirement because his health isn't the greatest. So he decides to open up a restaurant with his wife. And then one day he gets a gift in the mail from his, I want to say it's his uncle. Yes. Okay. So he inherits. Okay. Let me just read the back of it. The first is the case of a drowned boy whose suspicious death no one seems to want solved. And the second is a baby elephant. As his search for clues takes him across the teeming city of Mumbai, from its grand high rises to its sprawling slums and deep into the murky underworld, Chopra begins to suspect that there may be a great deal more to both his last case and his new ward than he thought. So it's just really cute because Inspector Chopra, he literally goes around the town with a no kidding baby elephant, and they name him Ganesh. So like, it's like the world's weirdest like crime fighting duo in a sense. And baby Ganesh doesn't like talk, so he's not one of those animals that like actually talks, or they like, you know, talk telepathically or anything like that. It's just, I don't know, it's just so cute. And then his wife is adorable. And then there's this an orphan that him and his wife kind of take under their wing and like raise him like a son because they don't have kids of their own. It's just a really cute series. And obviously because he was a detective before, he like retired and then decided to basically be like a private eye type of thing. He clearly does not make those classical like amateur sleuth mistakes. So if you want to kind of like listen to, or not listen, but read a cozy mystery, but you don't want to deal with an amateur sleuth, I would definitely suggest this series by Vaseem Khan. But that is all that I have. I know this is a very long video, but like, cozies are my heart. So thank you for watching, and yeah, I'll have another video.